All right, people, what the hell is going on? It is late night, and I'm just starting my Talking Texans because I ain't 100% right now. I watched the game this afternoon, and I fell out right after that. So my football intake ain't been as much as normal weekends, but it is what it is. I'm still trying to recover off some anesthesia I had on Thursday. But anywho, I watched the game, and the Texans won. Of course, they won. They tried to give the game away. They really did. They tried to give the game away, and ended up having to win the game on a walk-off field goal. I mean, Kaimi Fairbairn is going to be the fucking MVP, team MVP for the season at this rate. You know what I'm saying? I mean, if you win the games, it is what it is. But the Texans are starting to irritate the hell out of me because these cardiac games. I mean, can y'all just beat somebody, please? I mean, just beat somebody. You know, why everything got to be difficult? You know, everything got to be difficult, and it's like that. Every time I watch the Texans game, the only game that wasn't difficult was the fucking Minnesota game when they got blew the fuck out, and you knew they wasn't gonna win that game because they got blew the fuck out, and you just sitting there watching the game like whatever. Every other game is just like it's just like at some point you just got, you know, if you jump ahead and it just. I made a comment on Facebook to where I'm just like, you know, when the Texans get a lead, they don't run the same offense, which I can't really fault for this game in particular because Nico Collins went down, which, I mean, you can't do them but shrug your shoulders at that shit. You know what I'm saying? You can't do them but shrug your shoulders. This dude right here, he literally had a walk-off touchdown. You know what I'm saying? 67 yards or whatever like that. The Texans don't get many plays like that. They don't. Other teams will get plays like that on the Texans, but the Texans don't get plays like that. And then you get one, and your receiver, I mean, he looked fine when he caught the ball and he got in the end zone, but I call it a walk-off because he walked off the field. He ain't never come back in the game. Now he got a hamstring injury. And then the offense looked like poop the rest of the damn game. And I'm just like, you got all these receivers. I mean, at this point, I'm saying this right now. You got all those receivers. If one go down, you're supposed to keep chugging along. You know what I'm saying? You're supposed to keep chugging along. It shouldn't be. I know it's a drop-off. The dude is the number one receiver in the league at this point. But the way you run your offense, you know, and I noticed this with Slovic, is that, you know, sometimes you're like, okay, keep doing what you've been doing. Stick somebody else in that wide receiver one spot because you know it's somebody else playing behind him, and run your offense the same fucking way. If it don't pan out, then okay. You know, it's a noticeable change by how they run their offense when the personnel is different, which kind of sounds stupid to say. It really does. It sounds stupid to say that, but it is. It's noticeable. It's just like, oh, man. It ain't no downfield action, and that was a thing when Nico Collins was in there. No downfield action, no nothing. Everything is crossing routes and all this outs and all this other stuff, and which is fine when it's working. But it seems to be that shit is easy to make not working. You know what I'm saying? It's easy for that shit for other folks to make that shit not work. when it comes to the Texans. Because a lot, but what's his name? Other than a few drives, Josh Allen had that man. Dude, they pretty much screwed over him. And I ain't talking about in a bad way, but I'm talking about the Texans. I'm just like, yeah, this was not a good game for Josh Allen at all. It really wasn't. And that usually goes towards the defense. The defense played good today. The offense did. I mean, it barely held up his end. It barely held up his end because at a certain point they couldn't do nothing. You know, Stroud threw an interception that was an actual interception, not that tip ball. I usually that shit go on their stats, but I don't really call tip balls and shit like that. I don't fault that for the quarterback. This interception is just okay. That was his shit. That fumble he had 2 turnovers today. He had a turnover. God damn it, he had a fumble. Moving around in the pocket. Somebody caught him from the side with the pocket collapsing in on him. And that shit is gonna happen to a quarterback. You know, you don't want it to happen, but it's gonna happen because a quarterback in the pocket is not generally holding the ball like a runner, where you got the ball clenched and you know he got the ball like this ready to throw. And then even if the pressure come to you, you still got to transition from this to trying to tuck the ball away. And there's always a area in there where the ball is not secure. Yeah, whatever. Shit gonna happen. So I'm just like, whatever. You know what I'm saying? At that point, I was like, they finna fuck this game off. You know, but the defense kept holding them up and kept them in the game. So I'm not upset, but I know a couple of other people probably on Facebook where I be on the Texans page making comments and shit. There's probably some folks in there be talking about nah, because I made a comment the other day about I don't expect for the Texans to win this game. And then, you know, Facebook, you know, any online discourse with people, it's just folks are coming at, and you know, I had somebody to agree with me or whatever the fuck. I'm just like, I don't expect for them to win the game. I don't. Based on the way that they played the whole year, I didn't expect for them to win the game. And while they did end up winning the game, how they played proved my fucking point. You know what I'm saying? How they played proved my point. They jumped out on them real quick, and I was like, oh shit, they could have beat the shit out the goddamn Bills. I'm like, okay. And they proceeded to do nothing else for the rest of the game. Literally. They proceeded to do nothing else the rest of the game. And I said that the Texans weren't going to probably weren't going to win this game because they are, you know, I mean, they're not at 100% and all kind of shit like that and blah blah blah. And then somebody else was like, yeah, the Bills ain't at 100% either. I'm like, yes. Then I ask you. You know what I'm saying? I'd be like that, you know. I'll make a comment on something and somebody will make a reply to one of my comments and I'd be like, fuck you, get off the goddamn post. I wasn't directing shit at you. It's real hard for me not to just start shitting there. But somebody else hopped in there talking about, yeah, you're not really a fan. I'm like, you can be a fan of a team and expect for them to lose. Stupid. You know what I'm saying? You can be you know, it was there hoping for the best but expecting the worst, or whatever the fuck they want to call that shit. And based on how they played, I was right. Other than the fact that they won the game. Who knew that goddamn that the Bills were gonna come in there and lay an egg like that? You know what I'm saying? I mean, like, for real. If the Bills had did anything, you know what I'm saying? Anything, they would have won this game. But they didn't. My goddamn kettle going off. You know, they would have won. Texas would have been sitting around, blah blah, licking their wounds and all kind of, which they gonna be doing because I said they wasn't at 100%. Now they let less than whatever they was under 100% now. I mean, you ain't got your running backs. At this point, that don't even matter. I'm gonna tell you that shit right now. I said this in last week's video where I was like, okay, it don't matter who's at running back because there's nowhere to run the fucking ball. They'll manage maybe 3 good runs per game. You know what I'm saying? About 3 good runs per game. That means a run of, 9, 10, maybe 15 yards, something like that. They'll manage a couple of those per game. Everything else is dead at the line of scrimmage. Everything else, dead at the line of scrimmage. The only game where that wasn't the case was the first game against Indianapolis. And that ain't got nothing to do with Joe Mixon. You know what I'm saying? That ain't got nothing. Any running back that would have played that game would have had a good game. And that goes to prove because the Colts' run defense was dookie because they got ran over the next week too. And then you got Damian Pierce, who just ain't gonna ever get on the fucking field again. You know what I'm saying? You got Cam Akers and Dare Ogunbowale, which is I'm not a real big fan of Dare. I'm not. I think he's just a showboat. You know what I'm saying? I do. I think he's just a showboat. He don't do enough. And he got a first down and he had to get up and do some weird ass shit for the first down. I'm like, go fucking back in the huddle, dude. You know, the fact that you is starting this game just shows you how fucked up the team is right now. Don't be happy. You know what I'm saying? And I'm serious about that. That dude is literally a 4th string running back. He's a 4th string running back. He's somebody who is not ever supposed to get carries in the game. You know, he's a special teams player. That's why he on the fucking team. He ain't on the team to carry the ball. And while he can, any running back can. Now, their effectiveness is going to vary a little bit. I think he got the physical attributes to be able to just brute force through shit. But I don't think he has any wiggle. He just looks like a strong, fast dude. He looks like just a strong, fast dude. You give him the ball. If it's a hole there, he can get into it. If it's not, he ain't gonna be able to give you nothing extra. Cam Akers, on the other hand, he has name recognition. And there's something to be said about name recognition, because if you got name recognition, that means you have produced. You know what I'm saying? At some point in level, you have produced. You got name recognition. So, we got Cam Akers. I'm like, okay, the fact that you can say we have Cam Akers back there is a little bit of relief. But they didn't just pound the ball with him. You know what I'm saying? They really didn't. Which wouldn't have made no sense if they did, because he's not one of those type of running backs to start with. But you have to run the ball. You have to. You can't throw the ball every goddamn play. I realize that. My problem with the Texans running game, which is the same thing it's been, is that the scheme of the running game seems to be the problem. There's never nowhere for the running backs to run. Like I said, 1, 2, 3 times a game. Something will break loose. And then they'll need to run the ball, and it all looked the same because I watched the games on TV, and that shit all looks the same to me, like that fourth down play they ran today. I'm like, really, y'all gonna try to hurry up and run a goddamn play on fourth and less than one, and it's just a handoff right up the fucking middle? When I'm looking at the TV and I can see everybody bunched up right in the fucking middle. I can see that myself. I'm blind as shit. He ended up running the play for a loss or whatever the fuck. And I'm just like, it didn't matter whether it was a loss, it was a turnover on downs. I'm like, really, y'all couldn't run a better play than that. I mean, give your running. That's why I hate like draw plays and shit like that. That stuff work on occasions. But I'm like, they got all these read, whatever the fuck you go back and you get a running back the ball, and then I'm like, man, get a running back the ball while he's got some momentum going into the fucking line. That's why motherfuckers, I mean, shit, get an angle. You know, you got some shit like that, run off tackle. You know what I'm saying? You got 1 yard to get. You know, run a toss play. You got fullback on your team. If you don't have a fullback, you got tight ends you can put back there. Do the same thing. They do that anyway. You know, play the angle. Don't just run the dude right up the fucking middle. You ain't been able to do that shit all fucking year. You know what I'm saying? You haven't been able to do that shit all year. I sat here and watched the fucking I watched what's that, Derrick Henry. I sat there and watched I think who they play today, the Bengals. You know, I didn't see that game. I was asleep. I woke up at no, I didn't. That was a game they switched over to after the Texans game, and I got to watch the end of it. But they got Derrick Henry, and Derrick Henry ain't do shit. Except for that one play. You know what I'm saying? At the end of the goddamn game. They held him in check that whole time. And that happened when Derrick Henry was the last time they played the Texans. They scheme up. If you get Derrick Henry before he get anything going, he won't get nothing going. You gotta get him in the backfield. That's what when they played against the Texans, when he was with the Titans, that's what they did. That dude had the worst game of his goddamn career. As soon as he got the ball, every time, that was all over. As soon as he got the ball, nope, we're not doing this. Try to give him the ball, nope, nah, sorry, you're going to have to do something else. You know, you're not hard to stop. You just got to get him before he get going. You know what I'm saying? It's just that. Now, if you can do that to Derrick Henry of all goddamn people, what goddamn little Ogumbawale and Cam Akers gonna fucking do? You know, when your offensive scheme and offensive line don't open up holes for you like that. You know, I remember when I was watching the Texans, and when Arian Foster was here, and they had that zone blocking shit or whatever the fuck you want to call it, and you give him the ball and whoop, bam, you see it, he gone up in that. Yeah, and you see, I mean, if you watch the Texans back then, when when Arian Foster was here, when they was running that shit, you see them big ass lanes he had to run in. You could drive a car through them shits. You could drive a car through them shits. It's like, goddamn, them motherfuckers take off running through that shit. Ain't nobody touch. Well, that is exactly the opposite of what the Texans game look like now. I blame the offensive coordinator for that. You know, his pass offense is adequate if he calling the right plays, because the play calling is something that I just disagree with. It's too conservative. It is. It's too conservative, and they don't move the pocket enough. They don't move the pocket enough. It's just like I get nervous watching. Hold on for a second. This goddamn thing getting on my nerve. All right, now that we done got that done. Got my tea steeping over there. My sleepy time tea, which ain't gonna work because I've been asleep all goddamn day. So yeah, we gonna deal with that. Anyway, their offense is too damn conservative to where they don't get Stroud out the pocket enough. Every time he's a statue most of the time. And that's not Stroud. That's the play call. If he's sitting in the pocket like that, that's what the play calls for. And it's one thing to have him sitting in the pocket like that, and you see the whole guy every time he just right there. And I'm like, why do they have him just sitting back in the pocket like that? And I'm like, okay, when shit works, it works, you know what I'm saying? But it's like too many times it's just like, come on. Get him out the pocket, do a rollout, and you'll see him do a rollout like once per game or some shit like that. Anything else that resemble a rollout is just him avoiding the sack and scrambling or something, which don't happen all that often. He ain't the easiest motherfucker to bring down. You know what I'm saying? I give him that. You know what I'm saying? He will avoid some goddamn, if you don't just wrap him up and take him down, he will spin out and do some shit. Now, he ain't running away from nobody, but he is not, I've seen him just kind of get out of some sacks to where I'm just like, I can't complain about the effort. And a lot of times, once he do that, he's able to find, that last minute receiver up the field or some shit like that. You don't want to depend on that. You don't want to depend on that. You want that kind of action, but you don't want to depend on that. But you got to call the plays for that. Don't just have that dude sitting in the pocket. Move him the fuck around. He's a fairly mobile quarterback. Take a fuck advantage of it. You know what I'm saying? And then you can get more plays up the fucking field. You really can. You can get more plays up the field, which is what the Texans offense is lacking. Hell, they do it so seldomly that they got the one play from Nico Collins, 6-7 yard touchdown, and dude got hurt without nobody touching him. That's all. He wasn't used to that shit. I'm like, but now that's gonna fuck off their offense moving forward. Because they gonna throw Hutchinson, Xavier. I finna call that dude Chad Hutchinson. That dude name is Xavier. Oh, now I'm finna fuck it up even more. Hutchinson. They gonna put him in number 19, which I don't mind. You know what I'm saying? He's somebody who catches the fucking ball when he's in the game. You don't do no weird shit or no stuff like that. He run a route, you throw the ball to him, he catch it. What the hell? What else? What else can you ask for? That's what he does. What I can ask for is you to stop giving Tank Dell the ball behind the line of scrimmage. You know what I'm saying? And I say behind the line of scrimmage in the backfield. That dude is 110 goddamn pounds. Do not give him the ball in the fucking backfield. You know what I'm saying? Just don't. Because it's obvious when y'all running those plays. Because the shit don't never fucking work. That shit will work once at the beginning of the season. And then when you put that dude in the slot and he turn around and run back, and I mean, you can do that, but you better not give him the ball. It better be like a fake reverse or some shit like that. You know, it better be something like that. He's not a runner, dude. I don't know why they do that. The dude is made of glass. I'm not saying he's a bad player. The dude is fucking tiny, and he's not the the typical tiny that you would see in the NFL, where a motherfucker is just short and stocky and or some shit. No, this motherfucker is he's short and skinny. You know what I'm saying? That shit has its advantages, but every time somebody touch him, like literally his frame is his liability. Dude got hurt falling on the football with some bruised ribs or whatever the fuck it is. They say, yeah, he bruised ribs with falling. Like, what? Falling on the football? You know, he got these little skinny ass bones. He had broken leg. So, you know what I'm saying? It just give him the ball in the open field beyond the line of scrimmage. Not behind it. You know what I'm saying? Not behind it. And I mean, you can run like a hitch play or some shit, like one of those little hitch screens or some shit like that. But don't give him the ball in the fucking backfield. No. Unless you just, the defense will just have to be totally fooled. Because I haven't seen that shit work. Anytime they run a reverse or some shit like that, they don't never get many yards. It really don't. Like any reverse where they give a receiver the ball to carry, it never really gets a whole lot of movement upfield. It ain't like back in the day when the Texans used to run screens. Like I say, when Aaron Foster was here, they used to run screens all the time. But they run a goddamn screenplay, nigga, that's about 30 yards at least. That shit ain't worked like that since then. You know what I'm saying? I understand how a screenplay worked, but them little screens they be running nowadays, oh man, that was supposed to be a screenplay, and motherfuckers is right next to your goddamn receiver when he catch the goddamn ball. That shit wasn't well executed. It wasn't well executed. That shit kind of sucks. But like I say, moving forward, what they gonna do now? It's a hamstring injury, so you never know what's gonna come. You ain't gonna know until next week get here. And then what's going, what the receiving room gonna look like? Who gonna be wide receiver number 1, number 2, number 3? I mean, how they gonna? Well, it don't really matter. Somebody gonna be in there. How are they gonna be calling the offense? You have no running game. That's not going nowhere no time soon. That ain't got nothing to do with your running backs either. I'm gonna tell you that right now. That ain't got nothing to do with your running backs. That's to do with your running scheme. I've said that last year with Bobby Slovey. I be like, there's oh shit. There's nowhere to run the fucking ball. Don't matter who's back there. Yeah, it don't matter who's back there. There's nowhere to run the ball. Unless you run across a team like the Indianapolis Colts at the beginning of this season, they just sucked against the goddamn run. Anybody else ain't nowhere to run the ball. All you can do is pass the ball. Pass protection is decent. You know what I'm saying? Pass protection is decent. So, I mean, you can run your little pass plays, but even then, it's just like, okay, well, we got 1, 2, 3, 4. Why ain't nobody open yet? Like, really? Hey, you count the 3. Your quarterback should be, in the middle of a fucking throw at least. Ain't nobody open? Really? And I put that on the fucking, I put that on the play calling. That means the defense done figure something out about your offense where they can run this fucking zone where they only gonna rush 4 guys drop everybody else back in coverage because they ain't got to worry about CJ Stroud taking off and running with the goddamn ball. You know what I'm saying? It's not something you really fear. He could be forced into it. You know what I'm saying? He could be forced into it, but he ain't for to just take off. That's one thing about CJ. CJ is a cerebral quarterback. Sometimes too much so. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes too much so. Just like, no, nigga, it's 4 yards right there. Just take that. Run and slide. You know what I'm saying? Run, slide, and you know the deal. But that's not, that's not his game. You can't. You start trying to insert all that shit in there. You give him brain overload, and now he's thinking about shit too much instead of what he already know. That's why you can't have quarterbacks doing all of this. That's why a lot of them young quarterbacks don't do all that well. Because they try to implement all this shit, and a lot of this shit they trying to implement goes against his first nature. Anytime you going around and the quarterbacks don't get any better until they in the game long enough, and I mean in the game as far as games in the season, long enough to figure shit out on their own. Be like, okay, I got to do this. Okay, I got to do that. I see how this is going. I see how that's going. Blah, blah, blah. This is what I got to do. Instead of motherfuckers telling you, do this, do that, do this, do that. And it's against your first nature of doing shit. We don't want you to do that. We want you to do this right here. But shit, when you're in the game and shit is moving, your first inclination is to do what you've been doing. And a lot of times that might be the right damn decision. And then you get the indecisiveness. So that's why, if he take off and run, it's probably a good idea that he take off and run. If he don't, well, that's what he was, that's his first natural instinct is just to throw the ball away and avoid contact and all kind of shit like that. Because he ain't he not Josh Allen. You know what I'm saying? He's not some big burly ass fucking quarterback who can just knock motherfuckers down and shit like that. Like I said, he can avoid some sacks and shit like that, but he ain't, he ain't fucking muscle man. You know what I'm saying? He not what's that dude? Fucking Neil O'Donnell, a quarterback for the Steelers back in the day. Big ass fucking quarterback. You know what I'm saying? Same size as same size and just as strong as all the offensive linemen. Just like, he wasn't one of those. He ain't one of those. So, whatever. I'm not really worried about CJ. If I have any fault, it's always with the play calling. Because I know CJ ain't the one calling the goddamn plays. He's the one out there trying to execute shit. And I really don't agree with a whole bunch of the play calling. Once they get ahead and they go all conservative and shit like that. And that's when they start, okay, we're going to ground and pound. No, you can't ground and pound when you only getting 1 yard per goddamn carry. I mean, no, you can't do that. You can ground and pound and try to burn out the clock when you getting 4 or 5 yards a carry. At least around 3. You know what I'm saying? 3 and some change or something like that. And they not doing that when it come to that time. Like I say, they'll get a big run every now and then. That shit will probably come when a big run ain't fucking needed. It'll come when like a big run ain't needed. It's just, okay, we got a big run. Okay. It'd be like in the middle of a drive, blah, 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 blah. Let you need a big 15-yard run. No. Ain't for to happen. Don't have the personnel for it. Personnel, what the fuck? You don't have the personnel for it. Well, I take that back. You don't have a scheme for it. I think all those people out there are been playing football long enough to execute whatever the fuck you tell them to execute. It's the scheme itself. They don't have a good running scheme, a blocking scheme for their running backs and shit like that. They just don't. They didn't have one last year. Don't have one there. That's why Damian Pierce didn't do shit. You explain this shit to me. Damian Pierce this rookie year run for damn near 1,000 yards on a shitty ass offense. And then we get this offensive here and he just nothing. Like literally nothing. He couldn't even get on the field. And he wasn't even hurt last year. All of a sudden the offense don't work with him. And I've seen him last year when he got in the game, it was nowhere to run. You put a little Devin Singletary in there, do like 5'2" or some shit. You can't even see him back there. You put Damian Pierce in there, and he run right into the back of a wall. It just like really. Why won't you call the same plays? Like literally call the same plays that you would call when Devin was in the game, when Damian is in the game. Because that shit looked different to me. Damian get in the game, it's just like blam, blam, right into the back of the wall. You know, Devin in the game, you got motherfuckers pulling and rotating and doing all kind of shit, lead blocking out. Man, fuck out of here. Do that for your main guy. And even now, it's just like, it's just nothing now. You know what I'm saying? It's just nothing now. I'm just like, bro, like I said, you have to run the ball. Your passing game ain't really a threat to nobody. You know what I'm saying? You know how difficult it is? Like really, you know how difficult it is when you have to march the ball down the field, dinking and dunking? They mean every play. Every play has to be damn near perfect. Because they know you for to throw the ball. They know where you're going to throw the ball. They got the defense already out there for it. And then if you run the ball, it ain't going nowhere because your run scheme is fucked off. And so anytime the Texans take the ball and march it up the goddamn field, that's more impressive than you fucking think. You know what I'm saying? Because they are a one-sided ass football team right now. And that shit is going to come back and bite them in the ass. It really is. It's going to come back and bite them in the ass. And I don't think they're going to realize, because I've been saying this since last year. They run scheme. So the passing offense is okay. It's the run game that is fucked off. Somebody got to point that shit out. You know what I'm saying? Somebody got to be able to be like, okay, Bobby Slovic is a pass guru. You know what I'm saying? His pass. But when it comes to the running game, he ain't got nothing for you. You know what I'm saying? Don't think you do, okay, like everybody line up, you push the guy back and we're gonna run the guy behind you. That's basically it. You know, unless they run some weird ass goddamn sweep or reverse where motherfuckers, 17 motherfuckers is in motion all that goddamn once and shit. That's why you end up getting all them goddamn illegal procedures and all kind of shit like that. You get all that goddamn shit. Stop being cute with the shit, man. Stop being cute with the shit. That shit works every so goddamn often. Every so goddamn often. Get your quarterback out the fucking pocket. Roll him out to the right. Roll him out to the left. It's fucked up when I watch Josh Allen. Every once in a while I get to see a Bills game. Roll out to the right. Roll out to the right. He always end up moving out to the front. I know his plays where you go to the left sometime. But the only thing that pops in my mind is him going to the right, to the right, to the right, to the right, to the right. I'm just like, you know what the Texans did? They start cutting that shit off. You know what I'm saying? He get in trouble, boom, he roll out to the right. They run to where he going. You watch other teams that start chasing the dude, like, what the fuck are you doing? No, they run to where the fuck he's going. He run, if he curving around like this, going to the right, well, y'all know what the fuck I'm doing. You right here. This is him. He going like this. You do this. Other motherfuckers do this shit right here. Anybody that play defense know, well, if you play defense and your job is contained. I was a defensive end, so anytime a running back would do anything like that, a sweep or anything, I don't run at the fucking running back. I run out here where he trying to go. You know what I'm saying? It's the linebackers and shit back here. It's their job to come up underneath and cut the rest of that shit off. My job is to run him to the sideline. That's what the Texans started doing. He roll out, run him to the fucking sideline, stand fucking in front of him so he can't see downfield. That's what the fuck you do. And that's what the Texans did. Roll them out to the right. Now what they need to do is do some rollouts and have CJ roll out to the left, which is probably not where you want a fucking a right-handed quarterback to do. But yeah, that's probably what you need to do. Have some plays that's designed for him to roll out to the fucking left. Well, you need him going both goddamn ways. You know, if he gonna roll out, sprint out to the right, sprint out to the left, whatever. He need to be able to do both. But I was watching him when they had him scrambling out to the left, and he was when he got ready to throw the ball, he had to turn his whole body this way. You know what I'm saying? You already facing this way. Now you should be able to just, you know what I'm saying? You might have to go to the gym, do some tricep fucking extensions or whatever the fuck you got to do to be able to throw that goddamn ball. You know, with your arm, just because you're gonna have to do that. You're gonna have to be able to get them shits out, them passes out with your arm. You ain't gonna be able to get your body behind everything. Now CJ Stroud is probably a whole lot goddamn stronger than me, so I'm just talking shit over here. But I'm still, you know, he going to the left, and he looking to throw the ball and had to turn his whole body this way to get ready to throw. I'm just like, can't do that. You know what I'm saying? You can't do that. I mean, if you rolling out to the right, to the left, you need to already be able to squarely. And I ain't talking about all this shit where you can do it. No, you need to be able to. And I ain't talking about throw the ball fucking 50 yards up the goddamn field. I'm just talking about 20, 30 yards. You should be able to do that. NFL quarterback, you should have the arm strength to be able to do that. I'm saying that, and I probably can't throw the ball 20 yards, but still, at one point in my life, I could. Can't now. But, I mean, you need to be able to throw the ball because you have to be able to go both sides. Now, if you rolling out to the right, you already in position to throw the fucking ball. To the left, you need to be able to throw that bitch square. You need to be able to, just like that. Now they want you that, like you sitting in a fucking chair. That's what they need to have you doing. Roll your ass out in the office chair and have you throw the ball goddamn downfield. You know what I'm saying? Just roll your ass out in the office chair and have your ass throw the ball goddamn downfield. So you get used to throwing the ball squared up when you roll it to the fucking left. They gotta have those they gotta have those drills to where you do shit like that. You have to. Because everything is not gonna be ideal. You have to practice the shit that's not ideal sometimes. That's more likely to be encountered. And that's one thing that your quarterbacks need to be able to do. Without motherfucker having to run to the left and he want to throw the ball and he got to turn his whole body around this. You don't have time to do that because if you're doing that shit, more than likely somebody chasing behind you. That's a whole 2 or 3 steps of you having to turn your body back this way and go through the throwing motion. Your ass is already done got hit. They done slapped the ball out your hand or all kind of shit. You need to be able to just whoop. Cut that extra 1 or 2 steps out of that. Get the ball down fucking field. I don't know. I'm talking shit at this point. But that's something that I noticed. You know what I'm saying? They have to be able to do that. They need to be able to roll him out in either goddamn direction. And he has to take some though you don't want that dude getting hit and shit like that. But I'm like, shit, he in the fucking NFL. You can't protect the dude for fucking ever. Hell, he got up limping today. See, look at that. Even Dak took off. I mean, he didn't get back to the line of scrimmage, but at least he took the fuck off. You got to be able to do it, though. You know what I'm saying? And the way that the Texans offense is, I ain't saying much about the defense because the defense is fine for now. I can complain about stuff if I want to, but I won't know what the fuck I'm talking about. You know, I complain about a few missed tackles I saw and that rookie cornerback they got, Lassiter. He'd be looking bad on a couple of plays, but I'm like, like he's a rookie. You know what I'm saying? He's a rookie. What is he? You know. But he did. You know, it's. But I don't hear his name a lot. You know what I'm saying? It's, you know, you complain, you see him on one play that look real bad, you know, like somebody will knock him with a double move or some shit, and he'll be like, oh, fall the fuck over some shit. And I mean, for the rest of the game, you don't hear his name, which pretty much means he's doing his fucking job. You know what I'm saying? Which pretty much means he's doing his job. So I'm like, I'm not gonna complain about that. A lot of that shit I can't see no way. So, except for when they show the replay and they, you know, show him looking real horrible. But I ain't gonna complain about the defense because the defense kept them in the game today. And not like they did. Oh man, fucking Minnesota. Oh my goodness. But I'm gonna keep it like that. Defense is fine. The offense is not. It's not fine. They had they top, basically the top player went down today with a no contact injury that didn't look like an injury. I mean, it was like a hamstring soft tissue injury. Just like, yeah, you motherfuckers be out for months with that shit, and we ain't got nobody to replace that type of receiver. You know what I'm saying? We don't have no other 6'4", 200 plus pound receiver like that. We don't. Why we don't? I have no idea. I really don't. I really don't. Because if I was the general manager, we'd have at least two of them motherfuckers on the team. We had a fast guys and all this other shit, nigga. We gonna have at least two receivers that's 6'4" plus. You know what I'm saying? Not just one. You're gonna have at least two. You can have your one, you know, your wide receiver one that we got. I don't give the other motherfuckers a project or some shit. There's enough motherfuckers out there coming out of college and free agents and shit like that where you can find you a 6'4", 6'5" receiver. You know what I'm saying? You need to have at least two of them motherfuckers on your team. You know, that's going back for when I was playing Madden. That was long ass time ago. I don't fuck with Madden now. What I used to do, I played Madman, and I go through the little franchise or whatever the fuck they call it. Do that shit. You do your little draft, free agency, and all that other shit. Man, I swear, my receivers be like 6'7", 6'8". I ain't care really how good they were, because, you know, you can kind of build them up how you want. My receivers was always extra fucking tall. Why wouldn't you do that? You have at least two of them motherfuckers. At least two on your team. Why wouldn't you? Why you want your receivers to be just the same size as the defensive backs? Ain't no defensive backs out there. Well, very few. We had one cornerback here in Houston a while back that was 6'3". You don't see them too often. I think we played against one a cornerback or something that was like 6'3" or some shit. You don't see them too goddamn often. You don't see defensive backs that tall. We need that. We need that. I'm going, when I hop on, I need to be able to hop on some kind of forum somewhere where I can get in contact with the goddamn front office. But like, y'all need more tall receivers. You know what I'm saying? We don't need no more Mechis. No more Hutchinsons. No more Tank Dales. You know what I'm saying? We got that. You know what I'm saying? It's nice to have one or two of those on the team, but when it comes to your main guys, bruh, you need the advantage. You know what I'm saying? Of being able to, like, okay, we get somebody down the field, just throw the ball high, which for some reason the Texans don't do. They don't do jump balls. You know what I'm saying? When they need to throw the ball down the sideline, everything that you see on the highlights that other teams do, the Texans do not do that. They do not. You do not see jump balls to Nico Collins. And if you look at him compared to the defensive backs that's guarding him, I'm like, why? I mean, you throw little slant routes and shit, but I just throw the ball up over there and let that dude go get it. You know what I'm saying? Let him go get it, because you can get the, he got the advantage, and then you can get the PI call if you play it right. It's just, it's certain shit like that. I'm saying it ain't shit you can do about it now, because you got to incorporate a whole bunch of other motherfuckers into your goddamn offense. But I mean, the front office is always looking for motherfuckers. That's the NFL. The NFL is always looking. They got their eyes everywhere, and during the season, during the off season, that's what they need to be doing. We need another Nico Collins type. You got to think about it. You got Diggs. Diggs is a good receiver, but he's not a Nico Collins type. He's the kind of person that you would have to counter that. That's who you would have on the other side of the ball. You know what I'm saying? But you have to have that, man. That's my philosophy on that. As far as you have to have that. And as far as running backs, they got the running now. As far as versatility and the running backs, they got all that covered. All the running backs, half of their running backs is hurt. You know what I'm saying? So, while I can say that, okay, they got such and such covered and all this other thing. Well, when dudes go down, and then some of the guys that they bring up is just, I'm like JJ Taylor. I'm like, like JJ Taylor. I'm just like, bring somebody in that at least look like you want to give them the ball. They out there. You know what I'm saying? They out there. They ain't no worse than the people that you got on your team that ain't fucking playing. You know what I'm saying? Get you a goddamn running back. I mean, like I said, they got two good big size running backs. I mean, I don't think you need another one. Well, you wouldn't. Those two are out. But, you need the change of pace guys back there. But, I mean, when you stuck with the change of pace guy, and the other guy you got back there with Goomba Wale is just somebody who ain't supposed to be carrying the ball at all. He's a special teams player. There's a reason why that dude been here this whole time, and this is the playing time that he getting. After all these years he been here. The special teams. And it took fucking 2 starting running backs to go down to where he got to rotate in. What? You know what I'm saying? It's just, okay, whatever. But during the season, what can you do? You know what I'm saying? That's the thing. During the season, what can you do? You can bring motherfuckers in, But when you bring motherfuckers in, they don't know the offense. And from what I see with the Texans offense, with all this shit they got going on with motherfuckers moving and shit all over the goddamn place, you know, it's just fuck was that? Motherfuckers out here shooting. It ain't 4th of July. It ain't New Year's. Anyway, that's all I got, man. That's all I got. I'll be here talking all goddamn night about this Texans shit because they got some work ahead of them. They do. They got some work ahead of them, and it ain't looking pretty. It ain't looking pretty. And motherfuckers can call me a fair weather fan and all kind of other bullshit and all this other stuff. It is what it is. I'm going to call it like I fucking see it. You know what I'm saying? You know, this one thing about getting into conversations with other football fans, you realize how stupid people can be and how blind they can be towards their little allegiances where they can't look at objectively at a goddamn team and be like, well, this is... I mean, they can only do that when the team is already fucked up. You know, if the team start winning a couple of games, yeah, go Texans, woo, root for the home team, root for the... I pay to watch these games like most people don't. You know what I'm saying? You know, I gotta pay to watch these goddamn games. I don't got over-the-air TV. I gotta come off goddamn subscription and shit just to be able to watch the Texans games. Because you know how they lock that shit off from the home zone or whatever the fuck. So yeah, I mean, it ain't. If I was a fair weather fan, didn't give a fuck, I wouldn't be paying those $75 goddamn dollar bill per month just to watch the goddamn Texans on Sundays. Shit, you know what I'm saying? So yeah, I'm invested in the goddamn team just like all the rest of the goddamn fans. I just rather watch them on TV. You know? And when I watch them, I critique what I see. If motherfuckers ain't doing right or I see some shit, okay, whatever. If they doing well, okay, they doing good. They not doing good, fuck. I'm going to say it. I'm going to complain. You know what I'm saying? I'm going to goddamn complain. Like, what the fuck was that? Stupid motherfucker. Ah! Like today. I didn't hear Laramie Tunsil's name not one time the goddamn day. I didn't. Not one time. I was not used to that. I'm like, Laramie Tunsil did not get a penalty these games. And they got some penalties, but they waited till the second half to do it. You know, before they start getting the offensive line start getting a couple of penalties and I think some other people got some penalties too. And then I was like, oh, they finna throw the goddamn game away. They've been playing good, at least clean, the whole goddamn game. Now all of a sudden, these motherfuckers with these penalties. But it wasn't. I think I heard Shaq Mason and Kenyon Green. I think I only heard their name once each. And then I know we had, what's his name? Dalton Schultz had a fucking... had a penalty, throwing the ball at a player or some shit. Like, I'm like, bro, what the fuck are you doing? You ain't done nothing the whole goddamn game. You got a fucking 1 yard pass and do some stupid shit and get a 15-yard penalty. And then he ended up catching a first down pass and start doing some weird ass first down dance. Get your ass in the fucking huddle, stupid. You know, get your ass in the fucking... You over here doing some weird-ass first down dance for your one goddamn catch. Get the fuck out of here. Because the other catch didn't count. It was a fucking penalty. It was 15 yards. And you had a 1 yard catch. You want to celebrate a fucking first down after you done pushed us back 15 yards. Sit your ass down. And I feel like that for everybody. Especially what I said about Ogunbowale. He ain't nothing but a showboat. Like, really. Let him do anything. Let him do it. Don't let him score. Because even when he caught a first down pass. Well, you know what? I thought, Uh, that was when he caught a pass at the end of the game, and he went down. I think he went down to, slide to stay in bounds, so he wouldn't go out of bounds. Dude tackled him, and right in the middle of him. The tackle was still in progress. He was doing some shit like this, like you asking for the ref to throw. You slid. The dude was tackling you. Right in the middle of all that, you hadn't even finished sliding yet. He doing some shit like this with his hand, like with a flag. I'm like, dude, the play not even over yet, nigga. You still sliding on the goddamn ground asking for a goddamn flag. Fast as your brain moving, man. Yeah, how fast is your goddamn brain moving? But he got a little first down thing and proceeded to do some. Get your ass in the fucking huddle. You fucking fourth string running back. Get your ass in the fucking huddle. And he productive when he get in there. If you give him the ball in the open field where he can run in a straight goddamn line, you gotta be able to give. But he dropped that one goddamn pass where I was just like, he dropped that one pass. I was like done. I'm like, really, dude? Then the what's his name? The announcers was like, well, the pass was kind of behind him. He had to turn. Nigga, that ball hit him like right here, both his fucking hands. I don't want to hear no shit about him having to turn around. The ball was in both his fucking hands, and he just dropped it. You can't excuse that. You throw me a football right about now, that's probably what's gonna happen. What the hell? That's probably what's gonna goddamn happen. I ain't caught nothing in I don't know how long. Like literally, I can't remember last time I had to actually catch something. I got one eye, so depth perception and all that shit. Throw some shit at me. Fuck you doing? Throwing shit at me, man. What's the goddamn score? It is 13-10 Dallas. All right, I'm good. I'm actually going for Dallas in this game because I always root for the NFC teams to win against the AFC teams. And somebody with Dallas just went down. But that's Talkin Texans for this week. I'm gonna catch y'all next week and see what we're talking about then.